Did you know that thousands of specialists are seeing developmental advancements when you are reading to a child during their infancy stage and also encouraging your children to read during that childhood and adolescent period? As children, we learn the difference between the words yes and no. They're very important and they hold a lot of power. In saying that, we also learn cognates over the years that hold just as much, but we still use yes and no throughout our entire lives. As of 2013, the Oxford Dictionary contains over 180,000 unique words, along with their definitions, 273,000 head words, and 171 of them being in current use, along with a lot of obsolete words and substitutories. That just goes to show how important words are and how many we have to choose from. Hello, everyone. My name is Madison, and today I've decided to speak with you about why it is important for you to introduce books to your children during that early adolescent developmental stage. We'll be having an in depth discussion about the effects that researchers will have found when a child has been read to during their infancy stage, along with the advantages children have who are encouraged to read, and the educational levels that have been seen to grow through adolescents who read. First, let's begin with discussing the effects that researchers have found when you are reading to your infant. In many men, the brain doesn't fully develop till about the age of 27. In women, the brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 20. Reading to an infant can enlarge their ability to retain information. Our brains develop pathways in which we store information. That's during the early developmental stages of our life. And once we reach that full maturity level, they develop pathways still, but to a much slower level. So it is important that we develop as many pathways as we possibly can. Reading familiarizes them with the words and the repetitiveness of them, and it also implants a joy to read, which is very important because sometimes it can feel like a forced task, but when your infant is used to the sound of books and is encouraged to read during that younger age, they will want to read later on. Sarah Klein, who is an accredited doctor of the child and adolescents in the primary care facility of Elra Family Medical Center, states that during infancy it takes many months for a focused eyesight to be able to form. So, which means other senses are enhanced. Reading to an infant helps the developmental stages of the brain. Although it may not seem beneficial at the time because they may not retain the information immediately, studying the child closely, you may be able to see that throughout the years they are able to retain more information, such as repetitive statements and even some statements from the books that you have read to them before. See, during this time, a child has an exploration ability, which is the ability to touch, feel, walk, and talk. Books are used as a stimulant. Companies spend thousands of dollars and time and research putting into the material that they make their books out of in order to attract a certain age group or crowd to that certain book, such as cardboard, felt, fuzz, fur, sound. It's all used to stimulate the brain during that age period. Children are typically drawn to books that are based on color and material. So if you've ever met anybody, they definitely go towards those other ones. Dr. G. Collab and G.C. Van Owers are credited authors of the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development, contain seals from the Facility of Business and Economy and the Melbourne University state that through studies of the development department have learned that children who are taught to enjoy reading score higher on national scales. The transition from childhood to adolescence can be complicated because of the amount of knowledge they are taught, but the reading in the earlier life can help them retain that knowledge. Can it help them retain the knowledge? The answer is yes. Reading helps to expand the ability to retain knowledge, just as I stated earlier. Studies show that someone who has read from an early age can retain, recite, and memorize information even in their adolescent years from their previous childhood. Adolescence is where you will see a jump in the grade reading levels. It affects speech and social cues. Pearsons.com, which is a credible source who has been proved by several schools, including McDowell Tech, and while the site doesn't list specific authors, it does provide a list of 33 qualifications and a list of authors who check all material that is uploaded. The article states that reading in an earlier period in life typically pushes the child to perform in a higher percentile, for the cognitive skill level along with the reading, writing, arithmetic, and all of those. Based on everything that we have covered, let us quickly recap all of the information of the importance of reading to your children. Reading is an important early childhood development. It needs to be there in order to develop the child to perform those functions. We must introduce and enjoy the opportunities that reading can bring up. I personally love to read. I've read thousands of books, and I plan on continuing reading those. Eliot Cullen states, reading stretches the mind and pleads with it to keep pushing. For the knowledge it will find will take it farther than any other. The colors may dance, the fairies may flutter, while the dragons fly high in the sky, and the theorems may drum, and the formulas may sketch the page. But all the while, mind stretches, and the mind pleads with it to keep going and pushing on. So that is the importance of